Hi, my name is Yesterday and this is my YouTube channel. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the most important and essential things to do when you arrive in the UK, either as an international student or a dependent. If you're yet to subscribe to my channel, please hit the subscribe button below and subscribe because I'm going to be giving you a lot of tips and juicy details. So before I get into all the details, I want to share about why I started this channel. And I started this YouTube channel as a way of providing information and resources for anyone who's wanting to relocate into the UK. When I came here, even though it was my second time, I found it quite a bit difficult because I did not have access to some information, and there were so many things I wish I should or I could have done earlier. I don't know if it was because I came with 2 kids, but it was a bit harder. So the essence of this information is to ensure that your journey is as easier than my journey was. So I'm going to be providing a lot of information, juicy details to make your stay in the UK a pleasant one and for you to be able to settle properly. I'll start with the number one thing to do when you get into the UK, which is of course to get a SIM card and a mobile plan. Now when you're coming in, some airlines have the SIM cards inside the aircraft already. So if you like to get one of them, that's fine. But if you don't have access to that, if you come on an aircraft that doesn't have the SIM card provided, the easiest way to get a SIM card is a corner store close to where you are staying. All of those corner stores, always have SIM cards that you can buy and you can get that. I would advise that you get in first, settle properly before you decide on choosing a mobile plan, because that's what I did. So there are a lot of pay-as-you-go options for people coming into the UK. So I chose the pay-as-you-go option because I wanted to be sure that I wasn't getting a network that I would eventually not like, or it would be frustrating or something. So I took my time to study the terrain, see all the networks, see if it was something that could work where I was living in before I decided to go for a contract line and then chose a mobile plan. So get a SIM card and do the pay as you go. But if you want to do the contract line, or if you want to do a mobile plan, make sure you ask around you, check online to see all the various options. There's Leica Mobile, there is Vodafone, there's EE, there's so many options. So read up about the different tariff, because it's important as a student if you're coming in, especially with a low budget. So check the tariff, see what is suitable and will fit your budget and go for it. That's the number one thing to do when you get in. Now, the second part is relevant to international students, and it is to get the schedule from the school as well as your student ID card. When you come into the UK, the first couple of weeks is used for welcome address, and so many other networking activities. Make sure you go for those activities, because that's the way you find out all the juicy details and information about your course and the things that you need to excel and succeed in that course. And it's also a good way to meet your lecturers, start speaking with them, and just generally network, because you cannot, you can't do without networking. So it's important to network. And also get your student ID card. Your student ID card is essential for you to access some amenities and facilities in the university, like the library and so many other things. So get your student ID card. Also, the student ID card is the only way you can prove that you're a student, and there's so many discounts available to international students and generally students in the UK. In my city where I live, you can get the bus for £1, and all you have to do is just show the bus driver your card and you get that discount. And you can also get some discount in some stores, go buy clothes and different things, because when you get in, you're definitely going to be shopping and getting so many things. So get your student ID card, because it'll be very handy to get all the beautiful discounts that are available for students in the UK. The third thing to do, whether you're a student or a dependent, is to find your local GP and register. That's the only way you can access medical care. And how do you find your local GP? Google. Very handy for me, because I remembered when I had moved to one location, all I did was just to search for the nearest GP around me, and I found it. It's always advisable to get a place that's really close to you. So if you are In school, if you're living in a school accommodation, use the GP in your school. If you're a student, if you're not living in the school accommodation and you're living outside school, search for a GP that is close to you within 5 minutes to 10 minutes max, where you can get to easily in event of an emergency, or you have to rush to the hospital and all of that. Whatever you do, either as a dependent or an international student, make sure that you get a GP that is close to you so that you can have access to quality medical services. And like I always said, don't forget that you pay for NHS. So I've spoken to a couple of people that they'll be like, oh, I've never been to the hospital and all of that. I'm thinking, bro, you paid NHS money, you have access. So if you have any issues, you don't have to pretend or keep going on, and all of that. Visit the nearest GP close to you and get medical access. Another essential thing to do when you get into the UK is to collect your BRP. Of course, you have to collect your BRP. Now, during the pandemic, most of the schools, if you're an international student, made an arrangement for you to collect either at the post office or to come into the school and all of that. But now there are no set guidelines like it was at the beginning of the pandemic. But the school would always obviously tell you to come collect your BRP within a couple of days, and they will provide access to it. And just in case you don't know what a BRP is, it is the Biometric Residence Permit. Now, when you apply for your student visa or whatever visa you apply for, you will get like 30 days. Before, it used to be 30 days, but because of the pandemic, they would give you like a visa for 90 days on the Vignet. I think it's Vignet? I hope I pronounced the word properly, but yeah. So they will stamp your passport for 90 days. You have that access. But your BRP is literally just, I think it's called the residence permit, yes. And it gives you the right to work. It is stated on it, the number of hours you can work, if there's any restriction on your visa and all of that. So don't forget to get your BRP because it's a very important document. If you're looking for work, you will be asked for your BRP as a proof of your right to work. So make sure that you collect that. It used to be, there was a restriction then that you had to collect it within 10 days of being in the UK, but of course COVID has changed so many things. So make sure you check the regulation, the provision, whatever it is that your school is saying, and collect your BRP. Again, another very important thing that you have to do when you get into the UK is to apply for your national insurance number. That national insurance number is important because you need that to work. Your employers will constantly ask you for it. The way to get it, before it used to be very easy. You would call them and they would send some forms to you. Now you can apply directly on the UK Gov website. So you go there, fill all of the information, and that's it. I think for some people, they still get forms sent to their houses. You fill the form, whatever it is that's sent to you, fill it, attach your BRP, your passport, and send it back to them, and you can get your national insurance number after a couple of days. Even before you get your national insurance number, if you've got proof that you've applied for a national insurance number, you can use that and give that to a potential employer and use that to work. You get a reference number from the UK Gov people in charge of the national insurance number. So you can use that to work, and show prospective employers that you've got a national insurance number. Last but not the least thing to do when you get into the UK is to get your provisional driver's license. Now, this provisional driver's license is essential, especially if you're going to drive in the UK. You need to get this first before you get the driver's license and do the test and all of that stuff. And the good thing about the provisional driver's license is that you can use that as an ID. So rather than having to, because sometimes employers will ask you for 2 or 3 types of ID. The provisional license actually acts as a form of ID because they would carry your address, where you live, and so many other information on it. So how do you get a provisional driver's license? You can either get one by going to the website UK.gov again, applying for it, and then you get a form sent to you. Or you can go to the nearest post office close to you, pick up a form there, fill it, sign it, and send it to them. You might need a sponsor. That's somebody who's driving in the UK already to attest to some information, but everything that you need is on the form, and you can use that as a form of ID. And the bonus tip of an essential thing that you need to do when you arrive in the UK, start working on your CV. especially if you're looking to work. So start working on your CV. There are lots of websites that provide information on the format, the kind of format that is acceptable in the UK, the things to put in the CV, and so many much more. So start working on your CV, start looking out there, preparing your profile so that you can get a job as soon as possible. I really hope that you found this information useful. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and please tag your friends, let them follow this YouTube page. And I look forward to seeing you in my next episode, where I will be giving you a lot more juicy tips and details about living and thriving in the UK. Thank you.